Hello and welcome. It is F1 Clash opening round time from the Australia Origin Series event, and in this video we have Belgium, Bahrain, Japan and Singapore to whet your appetites for hopefully a great weekend. I wish you all the very best with this weekend and hopefully you can all pull off some amazing results. But we're getting in to race one straight away with Belgium and Spa. Race 1, Belgium and Spa, and we have gambled with using Ricciardo, hoping for a wet race, and qualifying is dry, so this might push us back on the grid. Let's find out. We might have it all to do, but I wouldn't mind a wet race if that is the case. But qualifying is P2 and P3, and we do have some wet weather incoming partly into this race, so things could get a little bit spicy out there in Belgium, and we're going to look for our boost, but I can't find any of them. I can't even find Dead Fast. Where the hell's that gone? There it is, Dead Fast. And we're going to use Lumberjack on Ricciardo, and still I can't find Lumberjack. They've all moved round, so we're going to do a 2-2-2 and hope for the best. See how long this weather takes. 2 minutes on the weather, 2 minutes 20, and we should be able to fly into the lead off the first couple of corners here. Hamilton does take the lead. Can Ricciardo push himself past Verstappen? He can't. Comes under threat from Lewis Hamilton, but does escape the danger straight away. Now coming down the straight, Danny Ricciardo says good day mate, goodbye, and we are in to P1 and P2 for the opening first race. Now we're going to do a 2-2-2 for as long as we can until the rain comes in, and these two boosts are great round Belgium. So Dead Fast gives me the fuel and speed down that long straight at the top of Eau Rouge, and so does Lumberjack with the overtaking speed and a bit of time management in there as well. So as Lewis Hamilton continues, we're going to basically car service, and we've got Danny Rick will now start boosting as well, and we'll service again. And then this should keep us going for another basically 2 laps until it comes in to wet weather tyres. But it really depends on how long that wet weather does last. So Hamilton coming around, we've got a decent gap, 6.5 seconds is the gap, and the front 6 all on soft tyres. So if we look to the back of Lewis Hamilton in 7th, hard tyre, that's a 10-second gap. So Lewis Hamilton can now boost away, and we'll cut down a minute. And Danny Rick coming out as well, so we'll cut down as well, because we want to make sure that we get a good minute here of nice and easy running, especially for them wet weather tyres coming in. We don't want to go too early or too late. And Danny Rick doing nicely. I was quite surprised by how far Danny Rick qualified up the field in P3. That was perfect. I was very worried, I must say, about him dropping back, but it's not the case. So 30 seconds till the rain comes in. We'll start to boost Hamilton, bring him in for some wet, so I don't need to service, so I'll cancel that in a second. So there we go, wet service, wet no service again. 20 seconds to go until some wet weather comes in, and this should be a nice breezy 47 points in a very good difficult track. And the first 4 races can be a bit of a pain this weekend, as Lewis Hamilton comes around now with 2 seconds to go to put on some wet tyres. And Danny Rick as well, chasing down into the pits for a nice quick pit stop. Lewis Hamilton back out, can boost all the way. We don't need to, but we will. And Danny Rick out as well. We'll just build a gap in case of anything that happens. And that should see us through. So first race, Belgium with a bit of changing of weather, and it will be a 47 points. As long as Lewis Hamilton or Danny Rick don't stack it into the barriers, and we get past Mick Schumacher. Do let me know though, guys and girls. I want to know how you're doing this weekend. I want to know as the season close approaches. Yes, we've still got a few months, but what are you expecting? Where do you want to reach? What is your goal? Is it a P1 in champion? Are you close to getting P1? Is it down to fastest lap? Or are you content with contender P1s? Or let me know in the comments below with exactly what you want to get by the end of this season's F1 Clash. So out comes Hamilton, round the back markers of the rivals. I mean, everyone's on a bit of mixed tyres here. And Hamilton's passed Bottas in P9. Running out of fuel into P8 past Perez. So we've pretty much lapped most of the field. And coming in to cross the line. And that is P1 for Lewis Hamilton in the wet. And Danny Ricciardo will follow the clone of himself through, but for the second place position. So that is 47 points. Bang off the board. Get in. Welcome to race 2 in Bahrain. And we have a shock up our sleeves because it is a 5-lap sprint, if we can call it that. I know a lot of people, from what I've seen, have been unaware already and caught out. So I don't really know what I'm going to do here, but we're about to work it out from the front. But I've got a plan. I have got a plan, and we've got 37 degrees of weather. Wow. So I'm going to go tune in with the softs. I'm going to go Taurus with the mediums, with the cornering. Remember, it's a corner and grip track. And we're going to see how this plays out, because I don't have a clue, if I'm honest. And hopefully that 37 degree heat goes pretty quickly. But the idea is that we can hammer Verstappen into the lead of this race, which we can. We'll cut down Lewis Hamilton straight away. And I'm going to try and just push, basically, Max Verstappen as hard as I can. 4 to 5 laps with Lewis Hamilton, so we're all good there if we just basically keep an eye on Lewis Hamilton, with Lewis Hamilton behind him on the softs. The track is cooling down, but we're not going to just push into too much. I mean, Hamilton gets past us, but he's going to have to pit, so that's absolutely fine. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. We've got Max Verstappen out front, and he's doing absolutely fine. We'll basically probably get another lap out of him. And what we need to do is just keep Lewis Hamilton within about 4 seconds of the Lewis Hamilton AI, because we don't want to get overcut or undercut. And a risky strategy, because it is so open as to what we do here. As Max Verstappen into the lead, we probably could have picked softs. It wouldn't have been a harmful position at all. We've got plenty of tyres, 65%, and we're going to start to boost. And I'm hoping there is some hard, so when Lewis Hamilton pits, he might get stuck behind. And worst case scenario is I might push here and get on the softs. We're going to close that gap. We've got Max Verstappen coming into the pits now. Tricky little 5-lap race this. Very in-between strategy. And I'm hoping Lando Norris, as we cut down, well, Max Verstappen won't either. So Hamilton comes out on the softs. So we're going to just conserve as long as we can. And basically, we might just have to push last lap. I mean, this is dicey. This is very dicey indeed. We can't pit now. We've committed. We're going to be chased down by Lewis Hamilton last lap. And welcome to a no pit stop race. Luckily, we haven't got a very tough rival. But Lewis Hamilton's closing in on us. And we've got about 5% of tyres to play with. And he comes around the last corner. So Lewis Hamilton is absolutely flying out there. And we've got to try and hold on. We've probably got another half a sector before we need to start boosting. And that's now. We're going to start boosting now. Can we keep hold of second place? I think we can. But we've pushed to the limit. And Max Verstappen wins the 5-lap race. Lewis Hamilton will boost. And we've survived a very, very uncomfortable race. And we've scored 47 points doing it. And pushed all the way by Lewis Hamilton. Welcome to race 3. And remember, I have a playlist for track guides where I'll walk you through the strategies. Most tracks covered. So if you want to learn the best strategy, then make sure you give that playlist a view. Now, it's raining and we've picked Danny Rick. And I don't know if we've got a human player, but we've started so far back with Lewis Hamilton. I don't really know why, to put it simply. But we're going to use Eagle. We're going to try and push basically as much as we can with Lewis. I don't know why Lewis Hamilton has started so far back. If this is a real player, we are pretty stuffed, if I am honest. And it's a dry race. So Danny Rick starting P3 is not the best situation. But off the bat, Ricciardo P2, Lewis Hamilton P5. So we've made a decent start. Can we get Danny Rick on that firework? I don't really know why I picked firework. But we are round the outside. Can we hold the lead? We can't. And what about Lewis Hamilton? He's up to P4. So some good start in here. And you never know, that Norris in front of us might do hard tyres after this stint. We've got Lewis Hamilton comfortably in P4. What have we got ahead? Hard tyres. I want to get past George Russell ASAP, really. So we're going to push Hamilton down the straight. Late on the brakes. Up the inside. Can't get it done. So we're using all our might here to try and get past George Russell. And can we get him down for a great position? We can, under the bridge, P3. So we're not getting away too much from the leader. Remember, Danny Rick needs to get ahead of that hard tyre, and he's got a good 3 seconds so far. That's the crucial part when it comes to this pit. And we're going to boost Ricciardo a little bit just to get ahead down the straight and start creating a bit of a gap. We'll car service fully, so we'll use a bit of fuel just to close up to the bridge. And that we do. So we'll cut down there. And then Danny Rick will basically come into the pits. And the gap over the hard tyres is around 6 seconds. So I'm actually going to keep pushing. Close that gap. Lewis Hamilton I'll start to push as well, because I want to get him ahead of the rival who's coming into the pits. Hopefully that rival goes hard tyres. And Lewis Hamilton will take the lead of this race. Rivals on softs, okay? Rival on soft tyres. So we're going to push Hamilton as hard as we can. We're going to push Ricciardo on the softs as hard as we can as well. Big race again here in the Suzuka track. Maybe this Norris might do 3 laps though and pit on the last lap. That would be a bonus, because that would open up the door for us. We need to get past this Norris though pretty quickly so we can build a little bit of a gap. It doesn't look like he's doing 2 laps as Lewis Hamilton comes in. Ricciardo tries to cut the corner, and coming down the straight, Danny Rick with a firework helping us through into the lead. Lewis Hamilton out in P3. So this bot is causing us a bit of pain. But we are going to come in for softs, and we won't be pitting with Danny Rick. Servicing, sorry. Hamilton closing that gap. He can go to the end though. And looking at the gap, it's only about 3 seconds. Danny Rick's got about 2 seconds, so we're in a decent position. The rival definitely going 3 laps on them soft tyres. Hamilton comes round and will inherit the second place position, but he's only just behind the soft tyre. Now that soft tyre won't go 4 laps, it will only go 3. So we're going to just keep pushing. We don't need to use up too much. Rival definitely coming into the pits this lap. So we might have solved the riddle of getting Lewis Hamilton up into the lead, and we've done so very well indeed, as Lewis Hamilton looks to make a move, can't make a move, but coming down the straight, Norris dives into the pits, and that sends us into P1 and P2 with both drivers. Rival coming back out on the soft tyres. And what we don't want to do is get held up too much. So I'm going to let Ricciardo through. And then I'm going to boost back Hamilton. We don't want to lose too much time, because rival is still quite a few seconds away, 6 seconds, as we cut both drivers down. And this should hopefully be no drama In the end, it took us 7 laps to get it, but it will be a P1 for Danny Rick here in Japan and a P2 for Lewis Hamilton for a 47-point run. Welcome to race 4, Singapore. 83% chance rain. Looks like a human rival that we'll be facing, and we have got rain, so this should help our qualifying positions over our rival. We've got a better matchup, but hopefully it's decent, and we are on to a decent qualifying session. P2 and P4. So Hamilton, we're going to use a hex just so we get through. Danny Ricciardo will use a tune-in, or we could probably use a SAR, but I'm going to use a tune-in out the front. Hex and tune-in, the best wet boosts on the game. And we have definitely got a human rival who's waiting to ready up. So we kind of need to blast away before this rival can get through the field. And rival taking all the time to have a look at what strategy they're facing. But P2, Danny Rick, P4, Lewis Hamilton, and we'll get them both straight into the lead and get them boosting away for a good quarter of the lap. Rival P9, P10 using copper and looks like cranberry. So we'll cut them down. Let's have a look at what laps we can do. 3 to 5 and 3 to 5 with both. So the chances are we want to do 4 and then pit with both. And we should be in no danger of this rival. Remember, tuning really good round the cornering tracks as well. Rival not liking the good luck. I think probably not liking the matchup because he's been pushed right back. But we are coming round lap 2. Decent gap to P3 and P4 already opened up. A good 3.5 seconds. And this will help us tremendously, especially 4th race in. You want to continue on the 47-point run, and that's what we're doing so far. Let me know how you've got at the end of this video. How many points have you scored after 4 halfway through? Obviously, remember myself, I have to go max every race. I've never had a perfect weekend. I've always dropped 1 point at the very least. So hopefully today and tomorrow, this could be the sign of something good to come. But we're starting lap 3. Rivals got into P7 and Danny Rick P12. And we'll start to boost now into do the 4 laps. So come into this corner. If you watch my strategy guide, you'll know that's what I do. And it's the best way to do a 4-3 strategy. And Danny Rick now will accelerate away. Quick tune in for a quick pit stop. And we'll be coming into the pits this lap and then boosting to the end. Lewis Hamilton the same. So we just want to use up all these tyres. And all these boosts to basically overcome. The rival's gone for an early stop doing the 3-4 strategy on the copper. Hopefully the rival gets in some decent points, and I think the rival's going to get some decent points, so good luck to him. I hope he gets the best points he can get out of this race. I don't like to see anybody dropping points, but rival looks like he's doing okay. There's Danny Rick into the pits now. Nice quick pit stop. 2.9 seconds. And back out and we'll boost. And Lewis Hamilton himself now coming out the pit. So we'll boost for the final 3 laps, including this one. And basically just put in enough gap between the field. And in comes the AI 3, 4 and 5. So that means the rival is going to inherit nearly P3, but it's P4 for now. But we're absolutely looking good for 4 out of 4 early on in opening round with pretty tricky tracks when you think about it. With Japan can be very tough. So can Singapore. Singapore can be tough. There's always a lot of pressure on us. But hex and tuning, the boosts to go. And we are just cruising around. 1.5 lap to go. Rival still in P4 and P10. We're not far off lapping the rival. In fact, we have lapped the rival, Danny Ricciardo. Remember, do check out the playlists that I've got. Make sure you do subscribe as well. Does support me so much. And we've also launched a Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, there is a F1 Clash official content creators of the Hutch program. Give it a search. That's F1 Clash official content creators, and you'll see us in there. And we are posting, the big streamers are posting all their videos when they upload, so you can see them first before anybody else. So make sure you go and join that group as Danny Rick comes round and laps P4, nearly lapping the whole field. But it's going to be Danny Rick with first place and Lewis Hamilton with P2. And we'll have to wait a long time for the rival to finish. But that is the perfect start to the opening round this weekend of the Australian GP event. Australian origin. Danny Ricciardo, the boosted driver. And that is absolutely brilliant racing to begin with. So, 4 races done and dusted of opening round. I hope you've enjoyed them races, especially Japan was a bit of a thriller in the end. But we're 4 races in, 188 points, so happy days on that front. And we've got 4 more races to come that I'll do, obviously, behind the scenes. And then tomorrow, potentially Monday, will become the final round video, where we give you the last 4 races, which is Austria, UAE, Italy, and France. So I wish you all the best this weekend. Hope you absolutely smash it. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much.